Welcome to History with Master Squishies. In today's video, we'll be covering the history of the Marder 3, we'll be going over who made it, the design, what nations used it, some of the battles it took place in, and how it performs in-game. To start off with, the Marder 3 was a German tank destroyer that was designed and produced in 1942 to 1944 by BMM, formerly CKD, with a total production and conversion number of 1,736. The Marder 3 was designed based off the Panzer 38T when Germany needed more mobile and powerful anti-tank vehicles to replace some of the older tank destroyers, like the Panzerjäger 1, which could not penetrate the armor of the T-34 and the KV-1 with its 4.7cm PaK-T. There were three variants of the Marder 3. The first was the Marder 3 SD-KFZ-139, the second was the Marder 3 Ausf-H SD-KFZ-138, and the last was the Marder 3 Ausf-M SD-KFZ-138. The first Marder 3 used a Soviet 76.2mm field gun and a modified Panzer 38T chassis with the gun mounted in the center. The second was an Ausf-H, which used the standard 7.5cm PaK-40 and a modified Panzer 38T Ausf-H chassis, which had a rear engine and improved the armor on the sides. The last was the Ausf-M, which had a 7.5cm PaK-40 and a modified Geschützwagen 38T Ausf-M chassis. This model had a lower silhouette, sloped armor, a better fighting compartment, and moved the engine from the rear to the middle between the driver and the crew, which led to the gun being mounted in the rear. The Marder 3 was equipped with a fixed frontal superstructure mounted with a 7.5cm PaK-40 or a 76.2mm F-22 model 1936 gun, renamed the 7.62cm PaK-36R, and a secondary MG37T, MG34, or MG42. It had a maximum of 50mm of armor and a minimum of 10mm of armor. It had a crew of 4, a weight of 11.76 tons, a length of 4.65 meters or 15.3 feet, a width of 2.35 meters or 7.9 feet, a height of 2.48 meters or 8.2 feet, and a max speed of around 22 to 26 miles per hour. Next, we'll move on to its operational history. The Marder 3 was used by Germany primarily, but also saw use with the Slavic Republic. It fought in many battles, so I'll do an overview of its performance rather than specific battles. It fought on all fronts in Europe and North Africa with good results. The Marder 3 was able to destroy a majority of Soviet tanks at close range, but its biggest weakness was its high silhouette, its vulnerability to indirect artillery fire, and the light armor making it highly vulnerable to tanks and close-range machine gun fire. Due to the open design, urban areas were very risky, and because the Marder 3 wasn't designed as an assault vehicle, this meant that they were mainly confined to defensive or overwatch roles. The Stug 3 with comparable anti-tank capabilities was preferred over the Marder 3 in most cases, and thus outnumbered the Marder, and later the Jagdpanzer 38T was favored for production. But the Marder 3 was still an effective stopgap solution for the immediate battlefield needs. Finally, we'll move on to how it performs in War Thunder versus how it performed historically. The Marder 3 in War Thunder is pretty well done. The armor is almost right, with the maximum being 50mm, which is right, but the minimum is 15mm when it should be 10mm. The gun is right, with it being a 7.62cm PaK-36R, and the secondary is right, with it being an MG37T. And the speed is also right, with it being in the 22 to 26 mile per hour range, with it being 26 miles per hour. All in all, the Marder 3 is really well done, and I can't find anything that really needs to be changed, except maybe lowering the armor from 15mm to 10mm. So with all that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, squish that like button, subscribe, and let me know what you want to hear about next. I'll see you in the next one.